Hey everyone, this is John Carter. I want to talk to you about another really critical aspect in the transition planning process. It's about identifying and addressing the three legs of the stool. Well, as business owners, once we've identified what our universal goals and objectives are, meaning we know where we want to go, now it's time to actually look at key aspects of the business and ourselves that actually are going to impact the outcome of our plan. The first leg of the stool is the business itself, looking at all of its tangible and intangible attributes to determine how sellable or how transferable is the business.
There are three things in particular that we'll look at in making sure that your business is transfer ready. The first is, of course, the valuation. The second is the free cash flow level of the business. And third, we'll look at the organizational risks of the business. When looking at the valuation of the business, one of the key factors in that process is determining what the key value drivers are for any business. And so we will want to make sure that you have all of the value drivers that you need. If you're missing any, we're going to help you get there. Secondly, we want to take a look at the cash flow of the business. This always makes you attractive to whoever is coming in after you, whether it be an entity or a person. And then finally, we're going to look under the hood of your business and take a look at those organizational risks. And we're going to go through a process where we de-risk the business, thereby making it more attractive when it comes to the transfer. The overall goal in this whole process is to determine what value drivers you have and what you still need, and making sure that we help you in that transfer process get the value you need on your terms and your timeline.
Once we've addressed the business issues, then we look at the second leg of the stool, which is truly understanding all the personal considerations, fears, apprehensions, or concerns that the owner may have around transitioning out of the business.
So why do we focus on personal for business planning? Isn't it all about systems, practices, maybe some culture? Yep, but the common component is people. You know, and people are fantastically interesting, they're complex, and they can also be a real pain. So our objective is to remove the pain portion. So to do that, we work with the business owners and we take a look at their life, their whole life, because you can't compartmentalize and keep one part separate from another. What happens at the office affects the home and vice versa. So our objective is, in the first phase of the assessment, is to take a look at the truth of the current situation, ensure that we minimize risk and maximize the strengths that exist for you. And then the second part, in preparation, we ensure that you have a clear vision for not only the succession itself, but also the future that you're living into after that. In addition to that, we want to not only look at you as the business owner, your whole life, but we also want to take a look at those who are important to you and to the business. So that would be your family members, what's the relationships, what about the key stakeholders within your business? This could be key employees who are purchasing the business or who will be remaining with the business. We want to understand the dynamics there and to remove any risks and to maximize strengths. Ultimately, our goal is to ensure that at the end, during the succession, you exit the business on your terms.
Again, understanding that the human aspect of this is so critical. The third leg of the stool is actually analyzing the financial status of the owners themselves, trying to understand what actual dollar value are they going to need to live the life that they desire after the business.
When it comes to being successful with an exit strategy, there are some critical questions that have to be answered. First, are the business and non-business assets coordinated into the overall strategy together? Second, are all financial decisions being considered together in a macro sense? In other words, is there nothing being left out? Next, what about the charitable considerations or the estate plan? Is that tied into the overall strategy and financial strategy? And then finally, and probably most importantly, has the wealth gap been considered? The wealth gap we define as that potential gap of value in the business versus what the owners have in terms of their own assets and their business assets to be able to produce an income for the rest of their lives. Is there a gap there? We need to know that as soon as possible so we can get clarity in this area as the transition continues. These are questions that are critical and they need to be answered. And the process that we will go through in this financial leg of the stool will get these answers. And the objective is that you exit this business on your own terms.
So by addressing these three legs of the stool, we're in a great position to build the ideal transition plan for you and the rest of the business.